Hello, this is my update from my last video. So the first few videos you'll see us travelling up to the northeast, and then I do a quick tour of the house to show you how it is as of the first day that we arrived. So you'll see when we go into the hall there's quite a lot that's changed, and there's no ghastly Artex anymore on the walls with all the plastering work that's been done, so that makes a big difference. I'm going to go through and talk to you about a few jobs that I'm not so happy about that have been done, but you can see that this wall has been skimmed and we've taken away the kind of massive great 1960s 1970s mantelpiece thing. In the kitchen you can see that I've had that wall plastered. All the wallpaper has come off under the kitchen work surface, and the oven's going to be taken away because that's going to be dumped. And you can see that the wall there has been skimmed, the fire has been removed, and that's all been covered over, ready for painting. So when we arrived I did think, oh my goodness, we've still got a lot to do. But actually, over the course of the last few days, we have got a lot more done. There's still a lot more to do, but we have managed to really crack through a lot of work. So you can see in the bathroom, some of the walls have been skimmed. All that wood has come out, which is good, the wooden panelling. But some of the finish in places is really quite poor. Some of the plastering is really good, and other parts needs to be sanded and maintained. I'm not really very happy about. The plumber's come in and taken the radiator off the wall. So one of the jobs was to take the rest of the tiles off, those tiles that were left, and the shower is ready to fit, and all of that wall will be tiled. But you can see all the tiles are off and it's all been plastered, which is pretty good job. Two of the walls are really quite smooth. It's funny how it's almost like two people have done the plastering work. One that's got a really good finish, and one not so much. I wasn't very happy that they've come in here, the workmen have come in here and dumped things in here. I'd kept this door closed because the bedrooms are clean, the bedrooms are tidy. There's no reason for them to go in here. But there were marks on the mirror in here, like sort of looks like paint or plastering, but there was no reason for them to go into this room because I'm not having any decorating work done. And then the obviously other room, they dumped the curtains and so on. I had this room ceiling painted, and so there were a few bits on the floor. So I did say to my daughter, do you want to make some signs to say do not enter? Because we've now hoovered all three bedrooms, taken things out of the rooms and shut the doors up. So I'm hoping no more things just get randomly dumped in there. So we managed to get a lot of this painted, which you'll see in the next video. But I have had to fill some holes. I've had to do a bit of sanding, which is a bit of a disappointment. And you can see a lot of plaster is on the ceiling as well. So I'm going to have to go over that. That loft hatch was painted twice. I paid the decorator to paint that twice. You can see he's not really done a very good job. So a bit of a mix in terms of the work that people have done. That's all the brick work, and I'm just showing you here because unfortunately the plasterer has put rubbish in the recycling bin. All this waste I'm going to load the van up with tomorrow, so I'll be busy. So you can see here I've had that whole, do you remember the whole area that fitted in there? If you can't remember, have a look back on the old video because it's significantly different. I'll see whether I can put a photograph in for you to see. The old gas fire has come out, and I've had a builder come in and brick that up. That was where I got a quote for £965 plus VAT, or £60. Couldn't quite believe it. There's quite a lot of brick rubble there. They dumped some other rubbish there. Someone has thrown a can of drink there. So I filled up 4 of these really hard, like durable bags for brick and for concrete. And then I don't know where that shovel came from, but that shovel was there and I thought, right, I'm going to use it. So I used that to shovel all of the brick and rubble into the bag. It took quite a lot of time actually, and the bags are quite heavy, but all these bags are going off in the van and they're being brought home for us to get rid of. And then a few days later I got my Henry the Hoover, and he got all the dust up, did a fantastic job at getting all the dust up. And then I got a bit in my eye, so I had to go and sort that out. Literally it flew up from the carpet and went in my eye, but thankfully my eye was absolutely fine. But there was a lot of concrete here, more than what I realised. But I paid the person who did a bit of decorating, a bit of mixed attempts with the decorating that he'd done. Some of it was good, others of it less so. But I paid for him to smash up that whole mantelpiece area and take it outside, and I was pleased with that. He did a good job of that, and that would have taken us quite a lot of time to do that. The only thing that has caused is obviously when you do one job, that then creates lots of other jobs. So you see we've got a bit under the switches, all that, the damage on the paintwork, and on the left hand side as well. So it's taking that out, obviously you've then got the marks on the paper, and we're not changing this paper, the paper on the left or the right, and then we're painting this wall. So that has created extra work, but I do think it's worth it in the long term. Yes, it is extra work, but I think it looks much better when people walk into that room and that has been removed. Now, a couple of jobs that I have got for people to come back and sort out. The person who took the gas fire out, and they took the gas fire with them as well, because one of them works in a college, which is nice. But can you see that they've left the gas pipe? I asked for that to be cut off way back, and the gas pipe is like sticking up from under the carpet, and we can't put a new carpet over the gas pipe, so that will need to be sorted out. So there's a few different things you sort of think, sometimes because we're not there all the time, sometimes you think, has someone tried to make a bit of a shortcut here? You know, have they tried to get it done a bit quicker and then not done it properly? The man who bricked up the fireplace, he'd left it so it was all proud at the bottom, and I thought he's not going to reply. When I messaged him, I thought, I bet he's not going to reply. But he did. He said, Emma, I'll come on Tuesday and I'll knock a bit more off it if you want. But by then I'd bought a hammer and a chisel, and between me and my husband we did it together. It just, all things take time. That's the thing. When one job's not done properly, that means there's something else for us to do, which we'd not really, penciled in. We'd not really factored in that needed to be sorted. And I've got to say, today I've worked almost non-stop. So as I was part way through this, I thought, oh my goodness, this is dustier than what I realised. So I went and got a decorator mask and put the mask on to stop me from breathing it all in. And I didn't have a dustbin and brush, which is why I'm doing it a bit in a strange way with a big paintbrush. We left the dustbin and brush at home, which was a bit annoying because I do like my dustbin and brush. But then again, I don't want to use the one from my house to clear up a load of brick rubble dust, do I? So swings and roundabouts, I suppose. And then once I got the main of the brick rubble and so on, the Hoover got things up really, really well. So that kind of took the worst off then. So we've chosen the carpet we're going to go for. So we need to place the order for the carpet tomorrow. And I think we've chosen the lino that we're going to have in the kitchen diner. But in terms of like jobs not being simple, again, where you just now saw the lounge, the area where we've had that mantle ripped out is at a slightly different height. So we'll need to get that bordered, I think. And then we decided, the three of us, to paint this wall. My daughter really enjoyed using the roller, and she also did a lot of edges. So the three of us really managed to get a lot done. So we're going over this wall is with the paint. Usually we'd water down, normal paints, but we actually got some paint which was specifically for plaster, first after plaster, and it was cheaper, quite a lot cheaper, so we used that. And I'd say we ended up doing 4 coats, I'd say 4 coats, and now it's not patchy at all. I met with the tiler who's going to be tiling all behind the backs of the units and the kitchen side. Now, he's not the cheapest, but he's certainly one of the best. So he came and met us and talked about exactly what he's going to do, and I feel very confident with his work. Some of the work he's done looks absolutely fantastic, and he's a bit of a perfectionist as well, which you kind of want with a job like tiling, don't you? So he's going to tile all the way around, right up the top, underneath where the oven goes. And then I also paint over the top of the cupboards. So I can't believe that there was wallpaper in there. I find that so strange. Is that normal where you're listening from, to put wallpaper behind all the kitchen units? I find that really quite odd, but anyway, I think it's going to look really, really nice and clean and fresh. Now, the reason why we're going for white is because when we need to repaint, if we need to repaint part of it, say someone spilled something on the wall or the wall gets damaged, if you choose a cream or a magnolia, there are like 20 different shades of magnolia, where there's only one shade of brilliant white. So it doesn't go patchy if we just need to paint over a section where there's a mark or someone spilt something. So that's why we're going for white. And we're also going for white tiles. I just haven't quite decided what flooring to go with. We're certainly not going to have carpet and lino. We'll have lino throughout the whole room. I don't think that the flooring on the right there under the oven, actually goes with the cupboards or the work surface. I might go for, makes me think I should go for like a dark sort of slate colour, actually, rather than going for a brown. I might do that. So I need to place the order of that tomorrow. Now, we've also been to a place called Tile Shed. We bought the tiles for the kitchen and for the bathroom. We needed to buy a new bath, but we then started looking at the different kind of sets, the baths, screens, toilet and sink, because our plumber said the toilet and sink, although they're in pretty good condition, when you take them out, sometimes they break when you try to get them back in because of the age. So you can see them on the video. That shower is coming out, and we've got a new shower that's going in. And the wall on the left which is all going to be tiled, and then the wall on the right, the part on the right, so to the right of the old shower, that's going to be skimmed, and that's going to be painted with bathroom paints. So we've got a new radiator that the plumber's going to fit, and you can see where this part of that has been boarded, but that needs to be skimmed over. So this was all the tiles. Do you remember those pink tiles that were over it? Very, very dated. We popped out briefly for lunch and then got back, and it was more painting. So again, on the top there, oh man, it's absolutely thick of grease like you cannot ever imagine. I should think that they were using a deep fat fryer or frying with an open pan. Really, really thick. So I'd got these special wipes from B&Q, which were like grime wipes. They did not cut through any of it. So the person who I'd asked to take all the wallpaper off had left quite a lot of bits of wallpaper. So I was going over, picking up all the wallpaper and wiping across the top. But in the end, I just thought I could spend absolutely ages trying to clean this, and it's not going to touch the sides. So I have decided not to clean the grease up at this stage, because I decided no one was going to look up there. That was my theory. So I picked up the worst of the bits, worst of the grease and the worst of the wallpaper, and then once I'd done that, I then started painting. Again, I'd paid the man to take all the wallpaper off, and you can see he's done a great job below the cupboards and above the work surface, but there were quite a few sections where there were big lumps of paper left. Now in one section I couldn't get my hand down there, so I said to my husband, well, what would you do? And he said, well, to be honest, we could just paint over the top of it. That's probably what the decorator would have done, because it wasn't actually possible to get your hand in the gap. You can just about see the gap on the right hand side, you see, between the window and the cupboard. Really thin area. I wonder whether they wallpapered it all and then put the cupboards on, because otherwise I've got no idea how they managed to get the wallpaper in that tiny gap. So this bit that I'm painting over the top there, in the end I've given that 4 coats. So it's had a really good coating. 4 coats has taken me. There's kind of bits there which have never really been prepared or prepped properly. But what I needed to do was do the best job that I could within the limited space of time. So you can see that after I've done that, I need to do the bit on the right, I need to do the wall on the left. So there's quite a lot that I needed to do. So the aim was just to get it done as well as what I could in, like I said, the shortest amount of time as possible. So it's really important that you don't paint where the tiles are going to go, because that gives a surface which causes problems for the tiler. So that's why you can see that I go quite close to the cupboard and then I get to a point and then stop. Only my husband didn't realise the next day and he continued painting, but the tiler said, oh, don't worry, I'll bond it. I did try to get closer to the edge by putting a bit of card in. That didn't actually work. In the end, I just used it by very carefully drawing a line using right the edge of the brush, because my little technique didn't work with trying to use a letter bent round the edge. In the end, just taking my time and a careful eye, I was able to do that fine. And you'll see we do all the edges. We do all the edges and then we roller in the middle, because that's the quickest and that gives the best finish. And for those of you wondering, you see just above my head, there's a little area which just sticks out. That's a telephone point, and I've decided not to take it out, because if I take it out, a large part of the wall will come with it, and then I'll be left with a hole, and the hole then needs to be filled. So it's been left. So you can see I was then working out where the tiles are going to go. And then once I do quite a lot in here, you'll see I then move over to the other side and manage to do a whole load more painting. I wipe the floor a little bit, and to try to keep on top of the mess and the dust. And then that's it for this video. So let me know in the comments what you think. Have I taken on too much? What would you do differently? What do you think about painting it white? Do you think we should have gone for colour? And what colour floor do you think we should have? I look forward to reading your comments. And last but no means least, what do you think of those lovely net curtains and the blinds? Once I took the net curtains down, we found that the blinds were absolutely covered in cat fur.